Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Autopsy with Maddee P. I'm your host, Maddee P. Girl. How's it going this week? How are you feeling, girl? I missed you. I know you missed me. I don't even have to ask anymore. That's how close we're getting. What did we even talk about last week? Oh, yeah. So I'm so glad the part of me freaking out is pretty much over. We've closed that door. Love that for me. So this week, we're going to talk about something a little different, something called a pink cloud. I'm going to start with some warm-ups because who am I without a warm-up? I'm nothing if I'm not a warm-up, period. I guess we'll start by saying we'll go ahead and clock the T. My apartment complex is sending around an exterminator, which ain't nothing killing these bugs. Let me tell you, the size and girth on these motherfuckers, I am basically in the Amazon right now. There is no way in hell that they're going to kill all these bugs. Come on in, though. Just come right into my space. Yeah, just bother me in the middle of my day. That's totally fine. I don't have shit to do. No, my dog's not going to eat you. And I'm in the back like, attack. Anyways, me being a cunt, who cares? I digress. I'm allowed to be a cunt in this life if I want to be. I shouldn't say stuff like that. I'm kidding. Of course, I'm kidding. Anyways, that being said, push come to shove. If I stop abruptly and I go, it's because there's a strange man knocking on my door asking to come kill my hissing cockroaches. That brings me to another point. If you're in Charleston, I don't know if you guys know this. The Ace River Basin is the second most biodiverse ecosystem, next to the Amazon rainforest. So when we talk about these bugs being out of control, nasty shit like that, we are being serious. They are Amazon level bugs. We are not tripping. And I'm so glad to have the comfort and peace in knowing that to be true, because I'm not exaggerating. When a bug is this big, oh my God, I haven't even told y'all. One time I was in the shower, buck ass naked. Is it butt ass or do people say buck ass naked? I'm in a really uneducated part of the United States. Anyway, I'm all naked, flavaki in the shower. Not a word also. And literally T-Rex size of a cockroach comes crawling out of the lining of my shower curtain. Girl, naked, flailing, freaking out, whole nine. I honestly think I blacked out. I barely remember it. I went and grabbed a shoe out of the bathroom and Ellie's like... Horrible experience. I'm not kidding. The biggest bug, it was so bad that I couldn't even pick it up when it had died. Oh, I can't even talk about it. Did you see the way I just turned pale a little bit? Holy shit. And that's a new thing that's come up with me too. I never had any issues killing bugs, put them in trash. Bugs never bothered me. I grew up in the South. They never bothered me. Recently, I can't I hate bugs so much. When a bug dies, I can't pick it up and put it in the trash. Just the thought of it touching me. Holy shit. I never used to be that bad either. What's the word? I guess is that bougie? I don't know if that's bougie or what, but I never used to be that bad. And recently I'm I can't touch it. It's my old age. What can I say? I'm aging. Now, yesterday I had crumble cookie for the first time in my life. I tried to film it for TikTok. I didn't really see a point. My sister joked. She's like, I can't wait I texted her about it. And she's like, I can't wait to see it on TikTok later. And I'm like, oh, I probably won't post it. And she's like, makes sense. Just post everything else, but just not the stuff other people post. And I was like, is that what I do? I don't mean to do it. It's not working. So if you're looking for an algorithm thing, it's not working for sure. So there's that. And crumble was delicious. At first, I want to be, when people really like things, I want to be a hater of them naturally because I'm like, there's no way this shit is that good. I'm a cookie connoisseur. I'm telling you, I have a sweet tooth from absolute hell. Delicious. Okay. That chocolate chip cookie from Crumble balanced salt and sweet so well. Let me tell you, I got that shit from Mount Pleasant. It took me about an hour or so to get my crumble. When I got that crumble cookie at the damn door, first of all, box had been broken into. I could be dead any minute now. I ate all 3 of those mini cookies too. Box was open. chocolate was on the outside of the box. None of the cookies were eaten. So whoever's Meadee's paw was on it at Crumble, I'm hoping they just had shit on their hand. What kind of itch was that? Bring the box inside. The cookies are all over the place. The cookies have had a party. The cookies are like all over the place. This frosting's on this cookie, but I'm like, what matches with where? I need these flavors to collaborate in my mouth so I can understand and vote properly. Vote, rate, whatever, properly. So that did piss me off. Because how come I paid $25 to get that cookie sent to me? 3 cookies, mini cookies. And that's what he's probably mad about. He's probably like, this fucking bitch. You only got 3 mini cookies? You maybe come all the way out here? That shit was probably cheap, you know? Sorry, I did the highest tip amount. I didn't even think about that till right now. I'm like, damn, I probably could have tipped him more for coming out here. You know, as a server, you'd think, it's in the past, though. It's in the past. And I used to be a DoorDash driver. All the tips were like $4. Don't ever DoorDash unless push comes to shove. It's stupid. It's a waste of time and money. I honestly, I think I paid more half the time in gas than I made. Doesn't matter. Not my business. I haven't worked that job since the 30s. And I think back to my version of the 30s, which was 2020, COVID times. Inflation has definitely drastically changed my life. Changed money, before my eyes. And I'm like, stop. I've kind of been enjoying living through history, though. I'm trying to take that away from the monstrosity that is existence right now, and the big fuck you about being born now. That's rude, first of all. And I've been trying to view it as I get to see all these things in history right before my eyes. My kids or whatever will ask about it. It's probably going to get worse. So that's not even a fucking bonus anymore. And I'm not going to talk about it, but God bless everything going on with ICE right now. I don't know. I'm not educated enough. Okay. I was going to come on here and talk about it. I'm not educated enough. We all know where I stand, and it's with the peoples. It's against that damn stupid house up in the north. So how do I feel about Crumble? That French toast cookie, term used loosely, mostly a cake, was fucking delicious. Absolutely delicious. Dirt cake, delicious. Delicious. I have not let go of the gummy bear chocolate mashup since I was a kid. So I've been on that shit. TCBY or wherever the hell you go get your frozen yogurt, I've been putting gummy bears in my chocolate ice cream. It's been going on. And it stuck with me. And I loved taking a bite of that cookie with that damn gummy on top. And I was watching someone's review and they were like, they didn't add the gummy. And I'm like, oh, I would have sued. At that point, the way I got my box, Anthony would have had to come straight back. Take that shit back, Anthony. Take that shit right on back, honey, because I'm not eating that. Wasting my money and time. Yesterday, I DoorDashed twice. I did. Okay. Mind you, I don't DoorDash. This is not something I do in my life. I eat my groceries like a good girl. Okay. Creepy. Ew. Don't like calling myself a good girl. I eat my groceries. Okay. I do not DoorDash. I find that shit to be such a waste of money. And then you get it and it's soggy and it's just I cannot fathom why I'd spend $10 more to not get up and leave. Okay. My depression has not been that bad in a while. My laziness has not been that bad. Yesterday, I have 3 shots of espresso. Oh, I do have more to talk about. Yesterday, I just don't want you to look at me in the eyes. Yesterday, I had 3 shots of espresso and I bought a vape. It's in the trunk of my car right now. I hit it yesterday when I bought it because I had 3 shots of espresso. What am I supposed to do? Harm my community? Harm others? Because that was what was coming. So, and what is it? An 11-year addiction. Okay, it's not that easy. So, it's sitting in my trunk right now. And what was the point of me saying all this? Oh, so due to the whole alignment of yesterday, I was obviously feeling a little nausea based on my diet of espresso and vape. And after you don't vape, you quit vaping, it does nauseate you. So I don't want it the same. That's why I'm able to leave it out there. I did hit it this morning. Sorry. I'm a girl. I'm just a girl. Okay. Shit's hard. Shit's hard out here. Did you believe that? Was that believable? I should be on Broadway. Now, feeling nausea. Okay. So I'm going to lay down. I'm just going to lay down. And it was my first off day in however long. Okay. Well, I had one in between. Okay. Anyways, basically it was my first off day after a whole week of working and it was intense. And so I'm just going to lay around. I'm not going to do much. So I ordered Dick-fil-A. We call it Dick-fil-A because my gay friend calls it Dick-fil-A. It's Chick-fil-A. In case you're confused, it is Chick-fil-A. Dick-fil-A. They ain't sponsoring shit. I don't know why I sound like this today or what's going on. Don't care anymore. Really, truly don't care anymore. And it was $20. Oh, and when I ordered it, I'm like, that's not that bad. I got an 8-piece nugget, medium Coke Zero, medium fry, 2 sides of Chick-fil-A sauce. I love Chick-fil-A too. If y'all don't know, I do eat really healthy. I do. Because I'm crazy and I need every ounce of balance like I can receive in life. I started eating health. I've always eat healthy, like on and off in my life, kind of. We're getting to 10 minutes. I got to stop talking about this shit. But essentially, especially my sober life, I eat really, really healthy. I need my brain to function properly. I can't be out here sad because I had too many French fries. Like, I don't have time for that shit. It's exhausting, truly. And when I eat like shit all the time, like, you are what you eat. And I'm just a slug bitch. And something tells me I'd be drinking liquor. I don't know. I don't trust eating bullshit. But I do not side with restriction or restricting myself. So like, and we'll talk about it sometime, but I have had different forms of eating disorders. I've had binge and I've had starving myself, anorexia style. Okay. I've never thrown up though. And we'll get more into that. I'm fine saying stuff like this because I'm vulnerable. So I don't know if that was like shocking. It's not shocking for me to say because I talk about it to a friend. So I don't see why I can't talk to you about it. And, yeah, I don't really have that issue anymore. Sometimes at night I get a little sweet tooth, but like I don't eat to that point like I used to because I had a hole in my stomach and my heart before sobriety and before finding peace. Don't know why I said all that, but essentially I let myself get Chick-fil-A because it's my day off. And I'm like, hunty, that is the only shit I crave. I have eaten good for long enough that like I don't necessarily crave shit I used to. And I won't let myself eat McDonald's. I love McDonald's. Delicacy. Best restaurant, honestly, in the world. I fucking love McDonald's. I will never hate on McDonald's. But watch one too many documentaries and I just something... thinking about the parts of the chicken or parts of an animal that I'm putting into my body on account of McDonald's, like it does gross me out now. I never had that before. Nowadays, honey, you could keep that shit. Keep that shit. Keep that shit. So, but I do love me some good Dick-fil-A. $20 for Dick-fil-A. 3 crumble cookies after delivery and everything was $30. And then I had a coffee, 2 espresso shots on the side. I like taking espresso shots. It makes me feel young. Keeps me young. Push comes to shove. Apparently, it's not good for you. So I'm cutting that shit out. And an avocado toast, which was delectable. At this place called Cafe Roca. If you're in Charleston, it's new. It's so good. Delicious. Like, actually delicious. And I am like, I don't play about my coffee shops. Okay? I truly don't. Delicious. That was like $20. So all that just to tell you that I spent an enormous amount on food yesterday, which I don't mind. You know why? Because I don't buy shit. I don't buy liquor. Haven't bought any vapes. So it's like, I did buy a vape yesterday. So actually I spent an extra $20 on a vape too. Exhausting. I'm exhausted from listening to myself, honestly. So it's okay that I bought a bunch of food yesterday and had fun with that. And like, I didn't feel gross at the end of the night either. Like, obviously I don't feel the best, like compared to after I eat my typical turkey and broccoli. But, you know, I wasn't out here sick or nothing. Delicious. And if this man doesn't come exterminate before 3:30, I'm bolt locking that door. I know what you're thinking. Don't you want your house exterminated? It doesn't work when they do it. It literally does not work. So, no, I don't. Thank you. Moving on in life. What are we talking about this week? Me already forgetting. I'm like, why are you here? Wait, I didn't invite you. Also, I gave this tidbit of advice before. I've given it on my podcast. I've given it a million times. Nobody listens to me. And it's probably something I shouldn't say. But I told a friend, and she said it worked for her, that was attempting to quit drinking and stuff. I said, girl, because I'm not about to sit here and give people a bunch of tips when they come to me about not drinking. Like, I'm not fucking AA girl. You know what I mean? Like, or I don't know that much. Like, I have my own disease that I work on, and I can give you guys examples of that, which is what I'm here for, but I can't heal somebody else. Like, that's not what I'm here for. And so, you know, the only thing I said to her is I was just like, you need to let yourself eat. And she's like, I'm like, no. Like, when that comes, binge, let yourself eat. And that's probably not good advice, and it is what they say, replacing one addiction with another. How else you're supposed to get rid of it? Sorry, like I don't see an issue. It works for me, and I eventually grew out of my binge overeating situation. Like, and it wasn't even necessarily binge, it's just a lot of sugar at once. Because, sweet tooth situation, yada yada. So, don't know if that's good advice for anyone, or if that should be some advice that I should give at all. If you have a binge eating disorder, don't listen to me. But if you don't, have half pizza. I don't see anything wrong with that. You got to replace things in life. You're supposed to just raw dog it, and just like not have a collapse from an aneurysm. I'm telling you, these people making recovery the hardest thing in the world. It is the hardest thing in the world. Let me turn this volume damn off. Oh my God. It is the hardest thing in the world, to be honest. I do believe that. But we make it harder by pushing for rules instead of sanity and peace. There's like, that's just how I feel about it. I've represented it to you. So that's no new news to you that's how I feel about recovery in certain aspects. Obviously different in rehab and stuff. But like when it comes to us shaping our recovery as people, our aim can't be the rules. It's just not fair. Like, sorry. Moving on. Today we're talking about something called the pink cloud. Now, you're not in recovery. You don't know what's going on. What's a pink cloud? And yes, you should still keep watching this because we talk about very many things that help in life. Not just, what the fuck? This helps with many things in life. Okay. It's not just about recovery. The pink cloud is something that when you first get sober, essentially life is euphoric and peaceful and happy, and you're seeing what life is for the first time. So you're just like elated. You're filled with peace. You're on top of the world. At the beginning of recovery. Eventually, that pink bubble, that pink cloud pops. It pops. You don't feel the same about recovery and about life anymore. Things change. And I don't know. I wanted to talk about the pink bubble because I think people who even like maybe aren't in recovery or are trying to like get sober, but maybe don't have the disease or part with the disease like myself, I think like a lot of people face this. So like if you've been using alcohol for a while and now you're not using it anymore, you're going to see life in this like vibrant, beautiful way. And then that pops. And then you're like, what the fuck? What do I do now? Do I continue to not drink, but I'm not an alcoholic and now it's not fun anymore? So what's the point of me doing it? Push past. The shit you're gaining out of that is tenfold you giving up. And so I just wanted to talk about it today. I thought it'd be a fun topic. I had never talked about it, and I love talking about the pink bubble because I had one. I had a pink bubble, and I had the pink bubble for a long time, y'all. So they say the pink bubble sticks around like anywhere ranging from like 2 weeks to a long time. I know a friend to tell a friend of a friend that has been on the pink bubble pretty much her whole recovery. And I do think that's possible with people. It'd be really hard. You'd have to have quite the personality, but I do think that that's possible. Mine lasted very long. So I had a pink bubble, I would say, for like 4 months. Most people average about like a month or something. Just like that first little bit of getting sober. I think mine hurt so bad because mine lasted for like 4 months. It lasted a while. I mean, I don't want to say it was that long. It wasn't that long. Minimum, mine was like 2 months, minimum. I probably could have done the math and figured out what it was before I sat down here, but here we are, and it's too late and I don't care. Around that time period, okay? And like, of course you have, not to say that you don't feel anything, that it's not hard for you, that you don't have difficulties, but I was riding through life a lot easier than I should have, having just gotten sober, okay? And so when that shit popped, and I knew it was coming. That's the funny part. Like, I literally was told at some point my pink bubble would pop. And I still am like, what the fuck? What the hell is going on? Why am I so upset? And y'all know, I don't do well upset. Like, I don't do well mad or sad. Well, I guess most people don't. But, like, it really just eats at me. It does not go well. I'm isolated and I live here alone. So I think early in recovery, my isolation didn't help. And I thought I wasn't isolated because I was around people all the time. But living alone and in recovery was like definitely a difficult situation for me. And looking back, Would I have changed that? Maybe. But do I get to look back and do I get to change things? No. And so there's no point in doing that because I wouldn't be the same person. And maybe it gave me strength to be so independent early on in recovery in other ways that I have either I've used and I haven't noticed, or like I haven't even had to use yet. And it gave me some type of tool. So I wouldn't go back and change it. But yeah, that was not super fun for me at all. And I remember people being like, you're on the pink cloud. And I'm just like, yeah, I sure as fuck am. I sure as fuck am. And y'all ain't hearing shit from me. I definitely thought like recovery, and like it's so funny how naive we are because people literally tell us things. We don't listen to them. But I genuinely thought recovery was that bubbly. I don't know. I thought that this new way of life, I'm like, well, everyone's spiritual. It makes sense. Like this new way of life is going to be just so incredible and so perfect and so much better. Honestly, shit got dark in alcoholism and in active use, but like shit can get dark in sobriety too. So they're like a very similar dark. It's just different because we don't have self-destruction and we don't do something about it, right? Like we do something good about it. We don't act poorly in our decision making when we're feeling down in sobriety, but in active use, that's what we do. And so it gets dark both ways. And honestly too, I wouldn't want the pink cloud because the shit that I have learned, the shit that I've gone through, y'all saw me a few weeks ago crying and all that, carrying on. And I'm sure I'll have plenty of times where I'll come on here and cry and freak out again about something else in my sobriety. But oh my God, I thought that was a big ass bug and it was not. I was about to say, sir. But I wouldn't want it to be like that because of how much I've learned. And I know it's so cheesy, but like, and to me, learning is fun. Maybe that's what it is. For some people, learning is fun. Having the opportunity to learn myself and learn all these great things is a fucking blast. And if I had the pink cloud, I wouldn't have that. I mean, I would learn and I would continue, but it wouldn't be the same. Not like the way that you learn through pain. And pain is one of my greatest teachers. It always has been. And it gave me a lot. Pain has given me in my life. And I'm not just talking about obviously in the bad ways, but in terms of it being my teacher and how excellent my brain has become in a lot of ways. And I wouldn't have had those opportunities without the pain of my past and my traumas, period, point blank. And I definitely was scared because people would say, oh, you're on your pink bubble, in recovery, like your pink bubble's going to pop. Your day is going to come. Keep on smiling. It's going to get hard. I was scared. And what it made me think too was like, okay, well, when it pops, I'm out of here. Like this was early in recovery. So it's like, I have no obligation to stay the same that I do now. I knew I was an alcoholic, but not as intensely about the fact that like, I'm not going to find peace if I go back and drink, like now I have an understanding that me going back out and stuff would be a blip in time that I'd have to recover and refix at some point down the line of my life. It's definitely not going to help anything. But at that time, it's like, okay, so when that shit pops, I'm out then. Y'all go see me on the streets. Can I borrow 5 then? Because I got some liquor to buy. I got some liquor to go buy right now. And I was scared for that, definitely. And so I think I'm trying to also make you unscared. And I don't know why I mentioned that, but I did. And, but it's funny because like by the time it did actually pop, I was ready. And all of these things that I had taught myself, they were being instilled. And so like, I figured I'd be out, but when it popped, I was ready for it to pop. And so like, I think that's maybe what I'm trying to articulate to you a little bit is that when it does pop, maybe you'll be ready for it. And maybe there's a divine timing that comes with that. Maybe it's right when that hurricane of real true sobriety needs to hit you individually as you come to that. That's what happens. I never thought about like that till now. And I wonder if that's the case because it is person to person. It's how your brain reacts. So like, I wonder how divine that is, like the pink bubble. So like early sobriety, I feel like a lot of us, it's an option. It's open. It's there. It's not too late for you to go back and start drinking. It's not too late for you to go out. And I mean, it never is, obviously, unfortunately, but it's way more of an option, just like, okay, it didn't work. This didn't work for me because they say, try it out. And that's what I love about it. It's like, they say, try it out. And it's like, well, it didn't work because I love liquor. That's like who I am actually. So like, but by the time that it happened, it had been taken out of an option in my life. I had gotten deep enough in recovery to where I could understand that the only way for me to have peace and happiness, and that's what I mean by by drinking being taken out of the picture. I didn't do some fancy work. I didn't do some fancy shit. I wasn't fantastic in my recovery and do incredible. It was because simply and this is what saves my sobriety, and what I think a lot of people need help instilling in them is that like, this is the way, simply, and it's not that like you don't want to drink. This is why I come here and I'm open and I talk about it and I'm real, because I do. Like there will all, that's what an addict is. I will always have an underlying feeling that I maybe want to drink. It's gone away with time, but like it's going to reoccur in my life. I quit it and I have a whole lifetime to live still. So like it's going to reoccur in my life. Those feelings of wanting to drink, of wanting to use whatever, it's going to reoccur back in my life. What was I saying? As soon as I say what was I saying, I completely forget. Oh, but that you understand you're an alcoholic. That's what I mean by drinking being taken out of the picture. So you have a full understanding that you're going to die or go to jail, essentially, or that like this life is not going to work for you the same. You can maybe even survive. You can maybe even live a drunken life. You might not get cirrhosis for 15 years or something, or you might not go to jail, like whatever it is, but like you cannot be happy and fulfilled. Like you can't choose the divine, mature route. And like, that's what I mean by drinking being taken out of the picture. Not that I worked enough that drinking was taken out of the picture, but because I just knew there's no other way if I didn't repeat myself 6 times. So once my pink bubble did pop, I was definitely like super frustrated with myself. And like, I totally thought it was my fault. I was very upset. Like, and I didn't voice that in a lot of my early recovery. I didn't voice a lot, because I didn't understand, and because that's how I always operated. So y'all know, even now I have to force myself to communicate or get my feelings out all the time. Like it's one of those things that I'll also have a push and pull with too forever. And well, hopefully not forever, but at that time I was not voicing stuff. I thought getting things out. Sure. I thought I was writing enough, journaling enough. No, so much was just being carried around every day in my chest. And that anger and bitterness towards myself for my pink bubble popping, which is not my fault. But I thought that was me. And there was a guilt that came with that. And I'll kind of get into some other reasons as to why later, maybe in this episode. Like it won't be so chronological like usual. There is a few reasons why I felt that way and like why I was so frustrated. And one of those being like a relationship that I personally have with innocence and stuff that we'll talk about later. One of those things being that like why I was so frustrated is I think that I thought I lost my shot at recovery. So I was trying to keep it young, keep it vibrant, and something enticing to me, because y'all know I need enrichment. Like I need to be curious and stimulated, and like it needs to be something that I choose and I fight for and I'm ignited by, right? This is something I'm curious in. And that's how recovery was up to this point. And so the fact that didn't exist anymore, I'm like, fuck. And I think I thought that because it's like, of course, like you ruin everything. Like you suck the life out of everything. You did this to liquor. So of course now you're going to do it again to recovery. That, when I said that out loud, that shit just hit different, because that shit is so true. Like I always just thought like you ruin everything. It's such a mindset I have about myself, and to a point that like I wouldn't even let shit be rejuvenated, let shit be fixed. It's just like, fucking, of course you ruined it, Maddie. You ruined fucking absolutely everything. And I haven't had that feeling in a while. I think that's why saying that out loud just kind of hit me, because like, wow, that was a lot of my life back then, was like constant. It was my fault. And like now when things happen, it's so not like that. And I just had that realization sitting here right now. That's beautiful. Like it's not my fault anymore. Like when things happen to me or if things are awry or whatever, it's like, that's the way life is. Like that took so much work. That's a cool realization that I just had. Moving on. Like a big mistake I made though was trying to force it back into place and trying to force the pink cloud back, which I don't know if that's common for people to do, or if they just know it popped and they move on from there. And maybe that's what I'm making this for, is because I didn't know what to do. And I also didn't know that it popped. Like, and it's obvious when it does. Like, so you don't really need help telling signs of like when it pops. You'll know when it pops. But I think maybe that's why I'm making this too, is like I just didn't know what to do. And I tried to just force it all back in the same spot. I went on 10. I went to all the same. When I was first in recovery, I used to go to this place called Salt in Charleston and meditate and like do certain things there. And I did it every single time I was off, because I used to day drink, obviously. Go to lunch, go to brunch, go shopping, just be drunk and fucked up. in Charleston, there's a lot of excuse for day drinking. Like, you just have to go find it so you don't look crazy for drinking during the day and like being an alcoholic. There's so many excuses to drink so you can get away with it. And that's what I used to do. And so when I first got sober, I'm like, what do I do on these days off where I don't drink during the day? Like, seriously, it was like that hard. And I used to go to these different places, and I try to force that back and do the same thing that I would do, the same routines, the same meetings, like the same everything. And I just like, that's how I tried to do it and tried to like force it to happen. And I would get so frustrated with myself when that wouldn't happen anymore. And that's not fair. And trying to mimic what I had done in early sobriety was like my version of cleanup. It doesn't work. Hey, doesn't work. Don't do that. And I wrote on here, which is very true. And I won't go too much into it, but I lived a lot by, and this reminds me a lot of like sober safety, which is like a dance that we have to do like really early on. And I'm referring to like pretty early on in sobriety. I'm still early on, guys. I'm not even a year sober. So I'm early on in sobriety, but like very early, first month, couple weeks, whatever it is. I don't know why I keep like doing that with my hands. What a shape. But it's no way to live. Sober safety, like after a certain while, or at least I'm referring to right now, I keep remembering we're on the bubble popping right now. So during those, like sober safety, it's kind of like maybe for me too, it was when I was realizing sober safety wasn't an option. And that like, I was like, fuck, now it's really time to do what my sponsor says and do what all these people are talking about and build my own recovery and actually listen to my gut and actually have to trust myself to move forward. And that was something I didn't do yet. And that was painful. And it might be hard for you because you might not trust yourself to move forward in these certain ways. Like now when I make strides in my recovery, make strides in different directions, like I'm not afraid of what the outcome could be, because before the outcome was potentially drunk. That was an outcome that could exist. And I'm obviously that is still in existence. Obviously I can drink whenever, like, but not anymore, right? That's not a big scarcity for me because I haven't drank in so long that I don't assume when I make a wrong turn that I'm going to be drunk now. Back then, this was when I was learning that. And I was learning how to handle my sobriety and how to handle myself. And sober safety was not like an option for me anymore. Then further caging myself, which we talked about, cage that elephant. We talked about that last episode and a lot. But I did cage myself a ton, and my emotions that needed to be let out. And I was caging those because I was scared of what could happen to me. And my pink bubble was gone. Getting these emotions out and stuff I felt was freeing before this. Okay. So while this pink bubble is happening, it is freeing to get all this off my chest. It is freeing to not be an alcoholic and an addict anymore. All these things are freeing. I can just be who I am. I can just say these things out loud. I've been thinking for all this time. Now that I hit this, I'm scared again. And I can't do that like I used to. And I don't have pride in it like I used to. I'm now re-embarrassed, which had gone out the window before. I hope you're following and this is making sense. But like that big flip sucked, I think. And I went back to the girl that has to force her walls down over and over and over. But that's okay. And I eventually learned that that's something that I'll deal with the rest of my life. I will always need to pull a wall down. There is a wall up somewhere in either inside of me or inside my relationship with others or in my life somewhere that it doesn't need to be. That's how I exist. That's how I live my life. And I can only take down so many walls at once. I just thought about Trump. That's why I giggled like that. And at that point, because of that, all of that, I wasn't trying to understand myself. I was trying to change her. And that happened when that pink cloud dropped, which is not good. I was just trying to make her different instead of understand her for who she is and work with her. And because of fear. And y'all know how I feel about fear. Fear runs a lot of our life. Fear also keeps us safe. An eye for an eye. I don't even know what that means. Like, where did that come from? Punishments could match the severity of the offense. That's crazy. Shit used to be like that for real. An eye for an eye. They mean that shit. They ain't playing. Yeah, trying to change her and all that stuff. And that ties into the philosophy of something I've learned about myself now is how vulnerable I am. And you see how honest and open I am about that because it taught me that back then that like I cannot force happiness to live anywhere. You cannot force it to live with you. You cannot force it to be there. We have to be real about the things we feel. At least it has to be within ourselves that we're real about it. So half the time I wasn't necessarily real with others. That came later in life and I still work on it. It's something that grows with me. But I cannot force that. And that was a realization that I had when the pink bubble popped, but that was an ideal I realized I was going to live with for my whole life. And it's kind of reoccurred recently within the last few episodes, like definitely the last episode and episode before we talked about that. And I think that was my first time kind of learning that too. And that like, wait, I don't have to lie. I don't have to fake all this. I don't have to lie about everything anymore because it's not real and I don't have to. And I think it's also like, in some ways, not just that, but the courage. Like, it's also about courage to admit it, to admit to not being happy, right? To admit to these things, to admit to these feelings that you didn't have before when your pink bubble was there too. And just in general. And it's almost like a courage as well as like, is kind of the root of that a little bit in a way, right? Like, at least for me, because it does take a lot of courage for me personally to open up about certain things at certain times. It does, like a lot, because and that roots back to me not wanting to get in trouble for the way I feel or certain things, and that's how I took it always in life. That's how I take things from time to time. If I don't want to admit to being upset, take the time out of my day to have to explain to somebody something about my feelings, like, it takes courage. And I did learn that back then. And we learn courage all the time, though, in different ways. But first kind of instinct of having the courage to speak out against what I was feeling. And that it's okay. And that other people feel that way. And even though people tell me that, it took so much time for it to click that, like, it's okay. Like, for real. Like, who cares? I just felt like I had done all of that work to feel so much better just to be back at 24 hours again. And that's how it felt. It was because I was relearning myself in my recovery. And so it was back to 24-hour situation, one day at a time. And you guys know how much I love one day at a time. I have to think about that from time to time, especially with my vape and the whole situation, even though I fucking relapsed. 24 hours is an important thing for me and my mental health, really, because it's just 24 hours to get out of this mind, 24 hours to hold yourself under control, and then tomorrow we'll reassess because you're going to be so different because you low-key have BPD or whatever the fuck is wrong with you, and you're going to be so different and everything's going to be so much better after that 8 hours of sleep. It sucks in recovery to like make a headway just to be sent back, but that's so much of what it is. Like, and that was my first kind of taste of that, being like, what? Fuck. Are you kidding me? Now I have to but I thought this about myself. This is telling me this about myself. Like, you know, and our brain is just like such an interesting sponge and where it takes things. And so I think my main issue that I had with, and I said we were going to get into this, was the innocence and guilt. A lot of guilt went into pink bubble popping and does for a lot of people. So this ties back to me being a child, honestly. I remember, maybe we'll get into this a different time. I don't know if I have time to get into it today. I'm looking at my clock. I don't think so. But I had times in childhood where I vividly remember choosing to lose my innocence. And I also, for some reason, and I'm not sure why I'm wired like this or what it is, and this is a fun thing to research about myself now and figure out about myself, but losing innocence, I knew was something I didn't want to do at a young age. I knew it was something I could not get back. I think is more so what it was. I knew I couldn't have that back once it was gone. Same how I knew once I put a tattoo on me, it wouldn't come off. Like, there are certain things that I knew and I understood fully that maybe not everyone else does. Maybe people do, but like, I didn't just do things like, yes, I did plenty of shit on a whim, but like when I got my first tattoo, I knew it was going to be there forever. Like, I knew it. And I don't mind now still to this day, because I told myself, well, you're going to like that story later down the line. You know, this is who you are right now and you leave space for later, whatever. And I really did not like my innocence leaving. There was something about myself that was attached to that and my relationship to my parents and to my family, and looking people in the face and knowing that I'm not who they think I am or who I used to be, or the child that was born to them is not who I am. And that was so painful for me, and it reflected so many ways across my childhood. And the losing of innocence is something to me is peculiar. Not a lot of people, I guess, feel that way about it, but like, it was heartbreaking to me. And not just in the pink cloud, like in life, losing my innocence was heartbreaking and soul crushing. And it caused me to look, sorry about all the bugs. It caused me to look for that home hole in life that we talk about, we discuss, like that sent me on a search for it, because I lost my innocence, in turn stripped me from this relationship that I have with my parents or whatever with life. And I created that weird facade in my head that wasn't true. Like my relationship with my parents was never ruined. It never has been to this day. They love me completely and wholly no matter what. And yeah, something about like those two just matches, and it sent me on a journey for my life once I lost my innocence that could not be filled and it couldn't be replaced. And maybe I went back out and I searched for it as hard as I could, but like it could not be replaced. And like I'm just now like, that's another gift of sobriety, honestly, a gift of sobriety and a gift of taking care of my mental health, because I'm 25 years old, y'all. Like, and that shows like I'm mentally incapable, because like who struggles with innocence at 25 years old? Like, you're an adult. I don't feel that way at all anymore. And that was through recovery that I felt that way. I recognized I'm grown and I still feel that. What am I searching for? What am I searching for? Myself, for peace. I don't need a clean slate. I create that on my own. I just spit the fuck down on my mic. Thank God I'm the only one that uses this. I create that on my own, which I also taught you in the 4-week plan. I create my own destiny, and I also create my cleanliness. I create this new palette. I create what I take with me into my new life. And that's none of that old shit. That's not my loss of innocence. If anything, I've regained it. And that's what I'm going back into it with. Like, give me back my V card. You know, like that's how I'm going into this new life with. And it healed me. Truly, like I could cry. Genuinely healed me to be reunited with my innocence, because it never left. And it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. Like, it never mattered. It never mattered that I lost it. It never mattered what I'd done in my life. Like, it had something to do with my inner child and things being stripped from me. 4 minutes on here, and that was really difficult for me. I think my purity thing being messed up just terrified me, and that was reflected in the pink bubble, because I lost the innocence that I was going into sobriety with. Like, that feeling and that peace that I had when I got there, it was like that. It was like that was gone. And I was unclean, and I was tainted, and I was now angry in my recovery, which is something I thought I could never do to sobriety. I was so thankful for recovery and so thankful to sobriety. How could I ever feel these feelings towards it? And I'm guilty. I'm guilt-ridden for that. And that wasn't fair for me to do to myself. The way my brain functioned at the time, it was like one little dirty drop in the bucket, then the whole bucket is tainted. Then this whole life is dirty now. I thought I would just spill it all over and say, fuck it. That's what I thought I would do. But in recovery now, I have this new brain, this new mind. I'm wired differently. All these things I've learned that have been taught to me are real philosophies that I live with now inside of me. And I didn't trust that or acknowledge that. I thought I had learned these things. Yeah, sure. But like, I worked for that. And like, a lot of them stuck to me and were real. And I could hold myself to that point, and I could hold myself to my recovery and my sobriety and to these things I learned. Above all, like, I had learned control. And my pink bubble popped. I was scared I didn't have those things. I was scared I didn't have control and all this shit. I had learned it. I had understood it, and I had worked hard on it. I had been a prodigy to control like this whole time, and it's paying off now. When it counts, my pink bubble pops and I feel alone and everything. Now, thank God, what I had worked for to come to the surface and have my back is there now. Thank fuck, you know? And I think we forget that when we move to these new ideals. Like, we're not just reading it, we're not just whatever, like, it is sticking to us actually. And also the way that I had learned to protect my peace, protect like the work I had done, that was coming to fruition too. I love that I'm finding beauty in it popping during this, because I hadn't really realized that before. A lot of these realizations and the way that I protect myself and stuff wouldn't have even come to fruition. I would have no idea. Back again. I'm starting to feel like my back's to them. That's not the lyrics at all. Alright, like a dungeon dragon. Sorry, camera. Okay, anyone who films, don't get a Sony. It's great, but it only films for like an hour at a fucking time. Hello, I talk for like 3 hours before I edit this. I didn't say this when we were talking about my loss of innocence earlier, but like my loss of innocence and the whole issue and debacle my soul personally had around that also played a part in my alcoholism, a big part in my alcoholism. And in some way, somehow, I also couldn't let go of my adolescence because my innocence had been stripped away from me, and I didn't feel like it was time. And it really freaked me out. And I also had an issue with growing up and like not being a kid, but I think a lot of it had to do with the loss of innocence and like how, I don't know. And again, there's not much point to that. It's just like, I just feel like other girls will get what I'm saying by that, hopefully. So that happened. My alcoholism was me being a huge baby, if we're being honest. Like, I mean, I'm sick. Like, I'm a sick person for real. And like, it's in my blood and I get all that. But like, it's me being a toddler and throwing a tantrum and being like really upset that I have to grow up and do all these things that everyone else has already been forced to do and done. And somehow I've gotten away with it. And that's not to downplay my illness. I'm sick. I like truly, and I'm mentally ill. We get it. We get it. But you know, that's just what it boils down to for me. That's not everyone's alcoholic monster. And I've talked about it. Like every alcoholic has their own brain chemistry and it makes things funky. And we all have weird things about our alcoholism, weird reasons, weird defects, like all types of shit. I find that so interesting. I love talking to other alcoholics about like their alcoholic monster and like what was life like for them and like different stuff. And it's just so fucking crazy and so cool that like we all have such different stories. Not cool, I guess, but we all have such different stories and like different reasons. And yeah. Anyways, so then when my pink cloud popped, I felt guilty and I thought it was my fault. I was like, I forced all this joy out of my life. So I was told the pink bubble was going to pop. I was told I was going to feel this way. And that's the thing. And I've already given up. When people tell me something beforehand or try to like save me time or energy, no, I have to learn it on my own. Like you can sit down and tell me 50,000 times that the pink bubble is going to pop in a week. And I'm like, okay, all right, I get it. And then it comes and I'm like, oh, this is my fault. What the fuck? I don't listen to people when they tell me what to do. Or they give me like advice on what's coming. I've gotten better at it, but like, especially at that time, early sobriety babes, like, I don't care. I'm not listening to you. Following it, when it popped, when I realized that like, I guess I couldn't recover the same anymore and I had to change things, it made me even more guilty because I felt like my brain had changed while I was on watch duty, essentially, kind of like I was on watch and it had changed right in front of me and I couldn't go back and make it the way it used to be. And that made me guilty, but this is what growing is. And it's kind of funny that I had no idea about growth, about all these changes that were going to come, so much so that like I couldn't even recognize it as growth. Like, I thought there was something wrong with me and I was growing out of my old ways into new ways. And I couldn't comprehend. I think that goes to show my credentials and my alcoholism. Like, that goes to show the life that I was living before this. And like, I had no radar for growth whatsoever. Like, oh my God, I remember this. New Year's, like last year, maybe the year before. I think it was last year. I said, my New Year's resolution is to get worse. And I did get worse. Like, I wasn't fucking around when I said that. I got worse. For real. I wasn't kidding, too. Seriously. I'm raw as fuck for that. Honestly, that's crazy. Yeah, and so I guess, like, it was ultra important to understand that now I have a new heart. That's the situation. Like, I can't go back and do things the old way I used to do them when my cloud popped. And I had a brain that was now trained to hone in on my gut and to listen to myself. And for the first time, when my pink bubble popped, it showed me that I trusted myself enough, that I trusted my gut. And I remember those first few feelings of like, and in some way it was sobriety working for me and me having proof of it. And it propelled me forward because I was like, oh fuck, if this is how I feel, then this means something is working and I'm not sick and I don't want to die right now. So I'm super happy about that. I want to cry right now. Whenever I talk about like my suicide, like my depression and stuff journey, sometimes it's like, it's just fun to sit back and think and chat about these old memories and recovery before I even understood. Like, it's just sad to think about how sick she was and how alone she was. And like, I just can't believe I survived that long, honestly. Like, on a dream, on a hope and a wish, I was surviving. But because of all these new things that I had learned and I had made myself, I didn't need that old shit anymore. I didn't need to wire myself to trust my gut every day when I already do, allegedly now, or to love myself when I'm learning those things. I'm kind of starting to. I get why other people like me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sick. I get it. And I thought because I couldn't enjoy learning those things the same, that like I was down bad. I was like, no, I've lost her. And there's no going back. So I might as well go pick up that drink. Low key in the back of my mind is how I felt, because it was just like, well, I tried, that's truly how it feels sometimes being an alcoholic. And that's what longevity, I think, in sobriety is you escaping it multiple times. So like, it's you escaping the part where you're just like, well, I'm an alcoholic. I'm going to go back now. Thank you. I didn't make that cut. I knew I wouldn't. Yeah, I already knew I wouldn't. It's fine. And I feel like that's what would have gotten me on several accounts. And somehow I pushed through them. And that's what it takes, honestly, for like a long, and I'm saying long term, a year, but still, like, I know people, I just feel like I surprise myself, because to me, I feel like somebody who should be like spurts, like 3 months at a time. Like, I don't feel like somebody who could have a consecutive year of not drinking alcohol. It still boggles me to this day. Like, I don't understand. But so yeah. And like I mentioned, I think when my pink bubble popped, it was first signs of sobriety working for me and me wanting to stay because of that. And it was a reflection of everything that I learned, like I said, kind of. And then also it required gratefulness too. My pink bubble popped because I don't know, it required reflection. Something was off, and so it required reflection. Anyways, I looked around and evaluated everything. Sorry, I'm seizing out. I'm going to the pool and I'm excited for it, and I think I heard my friend text me about it. Sorry, brain's in two places at once right now. Okay, leave me alone. And a big one was my relationships with people. My relationship with my sister, my parents, my relationship with friends of mine that I had kind of in some ways harmed or let go of, or whatever the issue that I caused was. That was a big one for me too. And just like my siblings and family, and these relationships were building a lot really fast. And I think that was my first sign. My real first sign was realizing the relationship aspect and realizing that people truly loved me for who I am, and that they did all along. That, oh my God, I want to cry too, because that's like really cool too. Like, everyone did love me like that the whole time. I just couldn't see it, and I had to grow and learn to see it and to be thankful and grateful for that. And it was like, that was one of the first things. And I was like, oh my God, sobriety gave me this. Like, seriously, I genuinely was like, oh my God. Oh, holy shit, guys. It's sobriety. It's me. I get chills. I'm getting chills right now. It's crazy. So fucking cool. Like, I'm like, that's what's causing this to work. That's what's causing these feelings in me. Like, that's why I'm happy. Like, I feel this way. And this is why I'm sharing good relationships. This is why my life is progressing forward in the way that I wanted it to. Seriously, chills. Because it is insane. I remember some of the first ones where it's just like, holy shit, sobriety. And like the forgiveness with myself, my relationship to myself, that was a big indicator too. And then like recognition at work, my work life got a lot better. I was a party girl. So like work was not, I did not care. I've never kissed ass like that. Like, not my thing, not my thing, just like school. And when I started to get like, not necessarily recognized, like whatever, but like good shifts and stuff, like good relationships there. People trusted me with things, like definitely some first signs of sobriety working. Yeah, like through evaluating kind of, I guess I recognized that when my pink bubble popped, that now I need to structure recovery and sobriety around my life. So like in the beginning, my life wrapped around AA and around recovery and sobriety because I was a baby and I needed to learn how to walk and I needed to learn how to talk honestly and like be a person a little bit. And now I'm forming into this place where it can come into me and it can find me. And like we work on one problem at a time, and it's a different way of recovery. And it was one that I was kind of scared to take those steps because y'all know, and I don't know if it was me that was so scared in the beginning to outstep or to do my own thing or listen to my gut. It was really hard for me. Like it was not easy because I was so, and I knew if I drank again early that I would be like, yep, remember that experimental phase when I went to AA? Genuinely, like, that's what I thought it would be. Not like almost a year later now where like AA is my life and I love it. And I love my friends in recovery. I love everyone that I know in recovery. And then I forgot to mention, I wrote this down. Another first sign that I had too was my temper going away / subsiding / I can talk myself out of being on a ledge, angry and shaken. that was a sign that sobriety works for me, because I recognized very quickly when they talked in the rooms about like, you know, being nice in traffic, being nice to each other, loving each other. What do you, like, you know, the prompt might be, what do you guys do when you're mad and pissed off? And I recognized, I was like, oh shit, I be mad as fuck. I don't do none of this shit. I need to fix that. Because in reality, being a better person, all this stuff, it isn't just for other people, it is, but it's to make sobriety comfortable for us. And I recognized very quickly as a very, very, very sick girl, very sick, very alcoholic girl, that if I was kind and patient, all this stuff, I had all these things with other people, I would gain it with myself. Also, other people would respect me and give that to me, because that's what I require for myself too. I don't know if that's kind of cheesy and bitchy, but true. And then that is just how we make things comfortable. We don't have stress. We don't freak out. We're able to handle our emotions. And when they get really, really big, we start to not be able to handle them. We have a backup for it. It's kind of the goal. And I recognize that in sobriety. And I think it helped propel me forward, because I understood that that was the most crucial part, was the peace and the kindness. And like, that was what was crucial. The drinking and shit, yeah. The urges, yeah, like that's important. But like, what's going to heal me for real and change my life and make me better and make me not want to pick up that drink is the fundamentals. And what the fuck was that? Fundamentals. And the fundamentals were kindness, humility, courage, strength, all of these things that other beautiful women taught me in the rooms. Can y'all believe I'm not an alcoholic anymore? Can y'all believe that shit? Crazy work. I'm just like reflecting right now. I'm like, I reflect a lot when we do these. Like, y'all know I'm proud of myself for sure. But like right now, this one is just really hitting. I'm like, I'm that bitch. I'm that bitch because I motherfucking said so. I'm that bitch. Maddie, I love you. Thank you for getting sober for real. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much for doing that shit. Because damn, I wouldn't have done it. Shit, I would have picked up another shot. I'm kidding. This was also when my recovery, I wrote down, became about acceptance. So like, yeah, step one is admitting you have a problem, accepting you have a problem. And acceptance is, there's many forms of the word of acceptance. And I think many degrees. Like, I think acceptance is a degree-based thing, like first degree, second degree, third degree acceptance. And I'm like trying to make my way to third degree, because I like, and y'all have seen, especially some of my first videos, like I'm insane. Okay. I'm batshit. And like in a office way, in a doctor's office way, not I'm batshit on TikTok, whatever. I'm crazy. No, like clinically I'm nuts. Me making sure you understand that. And so like, to accept I'm an alcoholic, I'm choosing help, and I will be doing the right thing here on out. Those are kind of like my three personal main things in recovery, that I had to fully accept and understand that you are an alcoholic and there's proof and you have an issue. And so I realized my recovery needed to flip into this full understanding and acceptance of who I am, and being okay with who I am, and accepting this path of straight sobriety, and the fact that I'm not hopefully going to ever walk back to a bar and walk up to a bar and order a drink again. And that degree and level of acceptance was being introduced into my life. And for somebody clinically insane, I think that that's uber important. So I think if you're one of the few that watch this that's clinically insane and not normal, like me, which is probably very few of you, there's very few that are probably actually crazy alcoholics, then invite acceptance into your life when that pink cloud pops. And then also through that, accept yourself. I think I'm a hider, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse and continue to talk about it. But I hide, and I hid from my alcoholism. I hid from recovery. I hid from a lot. I hid from myself. I hid from my gut. I hid from like everything you could think of. I hid from it. And that was just me being a scared little girl who didn't understand why she had to stop, and why her life was being ripped from her and changed so abruptly. And I had to accept that and be there for her at the same time. And that was something I recognized I wasn't doing before my pink cloud popped, because I didn't need to. People were telling me what to do. And also what it was in that, like, if I articulated the acceptance part right, was like that I had to finally admit that recovery is hard, I think too. And like, be like, yeah, this shit is brutal. I wasn't coming clean with my sponsor. I wasn't talking to other people, because I'm so trained on being fake in my life. Like, I'm such a chameleon and so trained. Hi, oh my God, how are you? And I'm a server. So like, working on this was kind of hard, honestly. And still from time to time, I have to like make sure, like, y'all know, I do not always tell the truth when it comes to my feelings or come clean about how I'm actually truly feeling. I lie to get it out of the way or be like, yeah, whatever, which is still a lie. And just being in the room, like, yes, I'm good. Oh, recovery is great. Oh, it's incredible. And then going home, maybe not bawling my eyes out or like anything crazy. Like if it got to that point, I definitely reached out, but just kind of in the back of my head being like, this is really hard. This is a lot. And I think like it was the pink bubble popping gave me a pathway to vocalize that and to understand like it's hard for everybody. And I have these people to do it with. I have this amazing group of people that I get to go to and do it with them. And they're the same as me. They're the exact same as me. And that was like another big shift. And I love that through this, talking about the pink cloud, it ends up me talking about the beauty in it popping because it's maturity and it's an honor to level up in AA, to level up in recovery and your alcoholism, because it's like you making it another step further when you didn't even think you could get away from it in the first place. So to have these opportunities where your hard work is showing and shines through, and you can for the first time really see that and understand that, it propels you forward. And the pink cloud popping gives so much room for opportunity and to really see what you've learned. And I love that I didn't mean for it to be that way, but this is how I feel about it. And now I'm recognizing the beauty in it popping and the beauty in me living life sober and it not always being good. And sometimes it's shit. Sometimes I go through periods where it's complete shit. And sometimes I go through periods where it's beautiful and it's everything that I ever dreamed of when I walked into those doors. And it's the faith aspect too. Like that, what the pink bubble did for me was it gave me all the things I hadn't built yet that were going to come after my pink bubble popped. So like peace, serenity, bravery, honesty, confidence, all these things that I did not have on my own, the pink bubble was supplying me with. And maybe that's why I say it's so divine. Maybe it's like, and that's why our brains are just like divine. Our brains are insane. Like our brains are, it amazes me daily. I wish I could be a neurosurgeon so bad. I'm not smart enough for that shit. It amazes me all the time. I'm so fascinated by it. And it's great. Like the pink cloud situation it's crazy because like our brain is so like was so deteriorated for so long and it's so hyped that it's not dealing with alcoholism anymore and it can function like a normal adult to the point that it's supplying us with these false kind of things a little bit, but it helps us like with like peace and all this stuff. Once it popped, we have to build some of those things for our own. Some of it stuck. Some of it we learned while we were in our pink bubble and it stayed. Some of it we have to teach ourselves. And I feel like that's what the pink bubble is. It's supplying you with everything you need besides willingness to get into recovery. And like, I had all the willingness in the world. I had every ounce of willingness. Like, I did not want to be sick anymore. It didn't take long for me to see how bad it was when I got out and like how sick I really was. And the pink bubble supplied me with everything but the willingness. Because that's all it takes is willingness. It just takes willingness, and then other people supply you strength, supply you with all those things too, which is the beauty. And that's also when your pink bubble pops, turn to those people, because when you are lacking things like that, other people supply it for you. And that's what makes us a community, because we know we need it in each other to stay sober. So when you're feeling down in your strength and your courage and your peace, I'm so emotional today. I'm emotional every podcast, but like I'm extra emotional today. It's just beautiful. Recovery is beautiful, dude. It's just so beautiful. When you need those things you need them and you don't have them at the moment, you go and you get them from other people. You ask them to supply you with that, and you ask for them to help you, and they do. You ask them for that, and then you ask your higher power, whatever that looks like. This is what this shit is meant for. We ask for grace. We ask for faith. We ask for serenity. We ask for peace. We ask for bravery. We ask for honesty. And we ask for unity. These are all things we ask for from either each other, higher power, whatever it is, from the pink cloud. And that's what you do moving forward. That's what you go and you look for and you find. And those people help you find it in yourself too. That's what they're really doing. I think I also had to learn when my pink bubble popped that I always say like the point in life is not, but like I had this idea, like, and I don't know if it's my insanity, but like, I'm not using that word loosely. Like I possess insanity. It's less now, but like there is an actual insanity, not craziness, not she Luffy, insanity, scientific, actual shit, being so for real. And I don't know if it's my insanity, but like life is around certain ideals or certain things, or when I'm striving for something, I want something. It's just like all around that thing, which is healthy and unhealthy. It's healthy now because I'm sober, but it's very unhealthy when I was not sober. And the point of my life, the point of our life is not to be constantly invigorated as well, constantly stimulated. That also comes with like the phones and new shit. But when I wasn't like, I don't know, pink bubbles supplied me with life, and I'm not constantly invigorated or curious or whatever, you know, and that causes a detriment in my brain, and a straight plummet down of like dopamine or something. I don't know. I'm not sure the science behind it, but like our life isn't about that now. And we get those moments where we're invigorated, where we're curious, but like that's not everything, because we don't live in chaos anymore the way we used to. And sobriety is learning how to deal with those times. It honestly is how to deal with the calm more so than the chaos. For me, in my personal sobriety, it's not the same for everyone, but in my personal sobriety, it's about how to manage the calm and how to manage the areas where I'm not maybe invigorated or learning something, or we always learn something, but you know, like doing something stimulating or whatever it is. Like those are the times that I struggle. Let's be honest, I struggle across the board, but it's important to be grateful because of all this, because like life being quiet is a gift that a lot of people don't receive ever in their life at any point. Some of that is not their fault. There are a lot of people who cannot have peace because of finances, whatever. But we have that shot at life being quiet and life being peaceful. People pay thousands of dollars for that alone. People pay money for that. Do you understand that? That is a gift, severely. That is a massive gift for me to be given. And I am thankful for it all the time. When I say, I'm getting chills again. Like, because that's insane. When I stop and I look around and it's quiet and it's me and my dog all day, every day. Therapist, mother, bailiff, then a virgin. Then I'm like, what the fuck? This is awesome. This is lit as fuck. And then my brain's quiet too. Peace, for real. Just fucking a candle and some shit on TV or me reading a book for hours and hours at a time. Yeah, if you have the luxury of a quiet mind and or equating to a quiet atmosphere, depending on what you did in your active use, how many kids you done went and had or whatever, that's a gift. A silent mind is... And not always, but like a silent mind is something important and something extravagant and beautiful, artistic. Like a quiet mind is a piece of art, and it is a blessing to acquire something like that. It's gold. It is literally like a diamond in the rough. And that's how I feel about mine. And that's why I stay with sobriety and I stick with it. And maybe that's something that you'll learn if you're pink bubble pops, or you'll learn in sobriety too, is to be so thankful for a quiet mind. And how much peace that is. Because like I saw somebody asking, like, would you rather be mentally or physically harmed? Physically. I know what it's like to be mentally harmed. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Don't nobody hurt me, please. Please don't hurt me. Please, I'm a baby. I'm just a baby. Because I've been through that mental shit. And trust me, I don't want to be there ever again. So the role reversal in my life of being my own caretaker and enjoying the brain I'm in and giving her medicine and fuel, and it not always being perfect. I'm insane. We don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sure I have plenty of diagnoses. I struggle daily in a lot of things, but I also blossom daily in a lot of other things. And I'm just really grateful for that. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm just sharing that. It's a good thing to keep me sober is that building of that, and the way that I'd have to let that go if I wasn't sober. And I also stopped searching for my pink bubble to come back, and trying to rebuild it is the other issue I think that happens with the pink bubble. It's like people try to get it back, but then you realize very quickly you can't get it back, but you also cannot rebuild it. You can't make a replica. It can't be the same. You can't rebuild it. And so I guess that's my just kind of a little advice is like, don't even try. And I also love the philosophy of getting broken down to be built back up. and it's something I live by and something that helps me when I'm going through trying times, because it's really true. And how I talked about it, like with all the pain I was going through recently and stuff, like I knew that it was fuel, and I knew that it was lessons that need to be learned, and that these are some of the greatest times in life is when we're at our lowest, because either we have to do something with it, or we recognize these great things in ourselves that maybe were already existent that we didn't have to utilize yet, or like whatever the deal is. But that pain, that pink bubble popping, all that's a whole lot of fuel is what I see. And like, not even to sound cheesy, like that's true. I see a whole lot of fuel in somebody about to be transformed into their own. It's like from adolescence to adulthood, a pink bubble is. And so I just want to like encourage you and I don't want you to feel alone when your pink bubble pops. Like, go to people that help supply you with those things. Be real. You can admit that recovery is hard. You can admit that maybe you didn't like it the same way you did a few weeks ago, and that your pink bubble popped, and that we got to do something about that. I just want you to be honest with the people around you, and be honest with yourself in that, because you deserve the grace. Your brain has gone through a lot. If you have a pink bubble, that's proof you're probably an alcoholic, because that means you're using a lot. It's kind of different than just quitting. I don't know. And maybe people have that just quitting too, but like, you have to use this to a certain amount to experience that much euphoria from getting away from a substance, So it is proof that you should stay in recovery. That's all though. Did you guys like talking about like pink bubbles and recovery and stuff? I really liked it. I love reflection periods because it keeps me thankful for my sobriety, and it keeps my sobriety young. That's a good thing. Like, sometimes your sobriety just needs a little Botox. Like, you got to keep that bitch young, keep her invigorated, go do fun shit. Like, you got to invigorate her, because this shit can get boring quick, girl. And one time I said like, sobriety isn't boring. What's boring is alcoholism. And that's true. But like, also like, that's a fucking lie and a facade, because like either way it's boring, honestly. But active use is more boring, because you're also sick and bored, because you know exactly what's going to happen to you and exactly what's coming. And sobriety isn't boring. It can get boring, but that's up to you. Y'all know how I feel about the word bored. That's your fault. Bored shouldn't be in your vocabulary. If you're bored, that has something to do with you. That's a personal problem. Why did I say that? I don't know. I'm going to go to the pool now. And I'm just going to go reflect on how thankful I am for myself and my sobriety, because I'm queen. Mother loves you. I'm not mother. But I love you. Have a good week. Bye.